And then they brought me to that book, Things Fall Apart. I don't know if you guys have read that book before, but it's literally talking about the psychological turmoil that African people, Igbo people in Nigeria went through as colonialism, the Catholic Church and everything started to set into everyday life and change up how they lived and worked. And right now, a lot of these comics are laughing, da 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 da. They feel like they can keep a straight face because they know how to act and play and jest and act like everything's okay, that it's gonna be fine. But the mask is cracking. There's a hairline fracture, but this hairline fracture runs hella deep. Kind of like in California, it's the San Andreas Fault. But it's that tiny fracture that's gonna create the biggest earthquake, right? So these comics have this hairline fracture running all the way down, and they think that people can't see it, and they're trembling trying to keep it together, and about to fall apart. And in that book, Things Fall Apart, Okonkwo, the main person, he found himself in a situation because he was a warrior. They would go to different tribes and do different things like that, and conquer people, or they would fight in different wars and stuff like that. And they would do different like tribal things. And he was very wicked to his son, very abusive. So what ended up happening was his son, because of that abuse, turned to the missionaries, and he was trying to, he kept on enforcing this abuse and the fuckery as if everything was going to be okay. They even went and killed some of the missionaries to send a message. At the end, when they changed the market days permanently, and they set up the colonial court as the real court, because before they would go and do masquerade and bring out the village elders and all that type of stuff for issues. Now things like that, they had to go to the real court. Once he started to realize that things were changing and he was dealing with this principality now, I'm not saying that it was correct, but once he started realizing that he was going to be dealing with that principality, which was colonialism and the Catholic Church, he went and he killed himself. He had to come to the realization of who was now in ruling in that area. And it's an unfortunate thing. But his mind wouldn't let him, it wouldn't wrap, his mind couldn't wrap around the fact that they had a European male figure that they were now worshiping, and that they were changing market days, and that they had to go to some weird figure in the middle of the road to go now talk to some European men that were ruling the land. He couldn't fathom it. It's like the early 1900s. So he hung himself. A lot of these karmics are going to realize that they're about to be caught up by the principality of whatever, principality of their own karma, principality at your job, HR dealing with them, principality if it's in your church, people stepping in to handle them, principality with the justice system, having to get put on child support, or having to answer for being in a fucked up marriage or being an abusive spouse or things like that. They're gonna have to answer to principalities. Some of you guys are dealing with people, they're in your house and they're abusive. You want to get them out. The principality has to come. Things are about to fall apart. Karmics that are playing with spell work. Jupiter's going retrograde. They have to pay the piper now. So we'll see. Maybe they'll be like a conqueror. Maybe they won't. That's funny. That's my uncle's last name. And I remember that he gave me this large, beautiful carving for my graduation present. And one of the karmics that I knew, they stole it. I think she died. Or her dog did. His name was Matrix, but I loved him though. He was so cute, and I felt so bad. And then she sent out an email saying that she's raising funds, but she was a thief. She stole hella much, caused hella problems. She passed. I think her dog passed, and she may have passed, or she's dying now. It's time. 111 likes. Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, that's what I wanted to say. Hopefully that makes some sense. Hopefully you guys, it's a really good book. It's very interesting. It'll give you deeper perspective into how our people operated and the things that they did. There's a lot of tribal things in there. that you will not agree with, and it will kind of shock you, but that's how people lived back in those days. All right, you all. Have a good night. Bye.